Yo, what's going on, everybody? That might have been loud. You might have been ear-raped, headphone warning. I guess it's a little too late for that. I actually really like this spot. You guys see him in a new setup. I literally just spun my GZTV sign around, and we are here with another video. We are here with my top 100 NBA players. I have gathered together a Word document. I know, not the most professional. But yeah, in a Word document, I like using Word documents and PowerPoints and stuff, so just hang in there with me. It's almost like a school project. I don't want to look at it as like that, because literally fuck school. Fuck all this bullshit. Not me. But, yeah, top 100 players of the regular season, and some players are excluded because of injuries, guys. Just understand that. Kyrie's not going to be on here because he didn't play enough basketball games. These are guys that played enough basketball games, they played at a high level, and they deserve these spots. So let's just move on to number 100 of the New Orleans Pelicans, a guy I'm quite impressed with this year, and that is Herbert Jones. I really, really like how Herbert Jones has been playing. He's got a good role. Matter of fact, they actually have a game tonight to see if they can clinch the 8th seed. So shout out to Herbert Jones and the Pelicans. They're still in playoff contention. They took down the Spurs in a much-deserved win from their big three, but Herbert Jones filled in the spots really well for Brandon Ingram, and he really got them to this spot. Not the main reason, obviously, CJ McCollum, obviously, Jonas Valenciunas. Moving on to number 99, we have, from the New York Knicks, we have Mitchell Robinson, a really good big man, a big man I've respected for a while. Obviously, he's not the best big man in the league, seeing how far down he is on the list. But I still think he's a really good basketball player. He can block shots. He doesn't have the most impressive stats of the year, but at the rim, he's second to none. I mean, he's really that guy. He's not the best rim protector. That's not what I'm saying. I was just using that phrase to make it legit that he's there. Coming in at number 98, these are all role players. Most of these guys are role players starting off here, but we have Dorian Finney-Smith of the Mavericks. Mitchell Robinson's a starter, but he doesn't do as much of a starter as Dorian Finney-Smith does as a role player for the Mavericks. He's really helped Luka Doncic in the Mavericks. Although it's a one-man show, I still think that Luka has some top 100 surrounding pieces, and we'll get to those throughout the video. A team that is in the playoffs, and pretty comfortably in the playoffs at that, with their roster. You wouldn't expect it, but look at where we're at. You know, it's pretty incredible to see Dorian Finney-Smith make it there. Yeah, you know, he's a hustle player. He can dunk. He can rebound. He can just get the ball rolling for this team. Number 97 of the Clippers, who again are fighting tonight in the play-in for an opportunity. And I really like this guy, Terrence Mann of the LA Clippers. I just really like the guy as a player. He's really good. He's really good, honestly. He's a top 100. He's very much deserving of that. Yeah, what else can I say? Not a lot of these players I will go super in-depth with. 96 of the Houston Rockets, a very young team. They got to build around some guys, but they'll have a pretty good future. Just count on it. One of the best 21 teams in NBA history. Let's not lie there. Jayshawn Tate. And Jayshawn Tate's, that shouldn't say Joshawn. That should say Jayshawn. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Jayshawn Tate. Yeah, just shout out to Jayshawn Tate. He's nothing special, but he's definitely top 100. Number 95, another guy on this New York Knicks team. A lot of low-end New York Knicks guys. We have Alec Burks. Alec Burks is a bucket when you want him to. Not much else to say, though. He can get you 20 points here and there. And the same can be said of our 94 spot on the same team, Evan Fournier. None of these guys are in the playoffs, considering the Knicks aren't in the playoffs. Neither is Jayshawn Tate and the Rockets. Most of these guys are on some pretty bad teams, let's be honest here. But yeah, Evan Fournier. He gets hot. If he gets hot, he gets hot. You know, he plays the Celtics every once in a while and just kicks our ass. I don't know why. I don't know what he has against us. Fournier, we have a problem here. We have beef, but I'm just kidding. Let's move on to number 93 of the LA Lakers. One of the bottom guys, but you know what? Malik Monk can put in that work. Don't doubt him. Malik Monk. He's had a couple really good games this year. He had a 40-point performance to end the season, I believe. He might have had another 40-point performance in there. He is very streaky. He is very inconsistent, but he definitely deserves to be in my top 100 here, and this is where I put him, 93. Probably his best year of his career. Is that saying much? Not really that much, because before, I mean, the Hornets made it farther than the Lakers did this year, but before he was on a pretty struggling Hornets team. Moving on to number 92, the first guy that's really on a good basketball team, like a contender of a team. We're talking about Steven Adams. He's not their best, he's not the best big man they could have gotten with trades and stuff. Valenciunas was definitely the guy there. If they had Valenciunas, they'd be even better team. But Steven Adams still deserves to have his name up here. He's a great teammate. I mean, from what people say in interviews about the guy, he's just a great dude, and he plays some pretty solid basketball. He plays like a traditional big man. There's a couple guys on this list. I have a decent amount of big men on this list, but Steven Adams, yeah. He's not the worst. 91, we have of the Clippers, another guy, Ivica Zubac. I think he's a pretty incredible player. He is slightly better than Steven Adams, maybe even more than slightly better. I don't know. I actually really, really like Ivica Zubac here. He's a bucket. Not a bucket. I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just move on from that. Number 90 of the Denver Nuggets, we have Monte Morris, really good, like third or fourth, maybe like fourth or fifth option on this Nuggets team. He's really good. He can score when you want him to. I mean, he's an Iowa State guy. I got to show respect. Iowa State's one of the schools I was planning on going to before linking up with the homie at SIUE. But Monte Morris, man, I really respect his game. He's got a really big future in the NBA, and yeah, he is 90th on my list. At 89, Monte Morris is debatably better than some of the guys farther ahead of him. Al Horford's one of them. Again, this is very objective. Like, this is just what I have observed throughout the year and who I like more. Some of it is biased. Some of it is, okay, who do I like more than who type of stuff. But up next, we have Al Horford of my Boston Celtics. I will say, with Robert Williams hurt and us going into this Nets series, it's going to be rough, but I think Al Horford's going to give us a decent cushion. He's blocked the best of them. He's blocked some of the best slashers in the league. That might not be any different for Kyrie, for KD, for Ben Simmons, assuming he's coming back with that Instagram post. But yeah, Al Horford. He's a pretty good guy. I mean, he can shoot. He's a veteran. He's going to help our young guys out. Moving on to number 88 of the Hornets. He is a top bench player in the league. I'm talking about Kelly Oubre. I really like Kelly Oubre. He can come out. He can put up 30. He can dunk on some people. He can hit some threes, hit some moves, play some defense. He can do all sorts of stuff. Obviously, the Hornets season didn't go as planned this year, but Kelly Oubre was a big reason they even made the play-in the first place. But yeah, shout out to Kelly Oubre. Number 87, another guy on that Denver Nuggets team. I'm talking about Will Barton. I really like Will Barton. I'm pretty high on Will Barton. He's been a member of this Nuggets team for quite some time now, and I think he's made a pretty big impact. I gotta make sure no one's texting my phone. It's all the way over there. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Actually, Will Barton. He could score some mid-rangers. He can play a decent amount of defense. Next, at 86, on this really good Cavs team who's getting ready to play in action tonight, we are talking about Kevin Love here. Kevin Love is one of a kind, man. I mean, he's such a good veteran. He's such a good teammate. A lot of the guys like him in the league. I mean, he's made a lot of friendship ties over the years, close friends. He's won championships, and now here he is sitting still in the top 100 after. I mean, it just shows his longevity. Kevin Love has been doing this for quite some time, so yeah, Kevin Love. Let's just move on. 85 on the San Antonio Spurs team. We are talking about Yaakov Pearl. Podol, however you say his last name. Solid big man, a slightly better big man than Kevin Love. Number 84. This is kind of controversial. Yusuf Nurkic. Should he be better than some of the guys below him? Maybe, maybe not, but I still have some respect for Yusuf Nurkic. He played some games this year, not all that much, but he still played some games this year, and I still think he played enough to be a top 85. Coming at 83, formerly a Spur, he is now on my Celtics. We are talking about Derek White. Man, I love this guy. He's such a good role player. He comes off the bench, he gives us buckets. He wasn't even a role player before, but maybe he was, actually. Yeah, DeJounte Murray's a starting point guard, but Derek White, he's pretty fantastic. I really like him. 82, we have the best team, the first member on this list of the best team in the league, the Suns. We're talking about Macau Bridges. I really like Macau Bridges. He's pretty damn solid. There's not much else to say. He's a defensive player of the year contender, I guess, if you want to use that. Yeah. 81, another Defensive Player of the Year contender of my Celtics again. We're talking about Marcus Smart. I have a decent amount of Celtics players on here. Am I a little biased? Yes. But honestly, these guys do fit on this list. Marcus Smart definitely does. He's one of the most hustle players in the league. He's like a better Pat Bev. Look at him as that. Number 80, a guy that's been putting in quality minutes for the Bucks all season. We're talking about Bobby Portis. I'm really proud of this guy. He's made some leaps in this league. He's definitely top 80. He's been playing really damn well this season. Putting up 30-point games here and there, getting the crowd hyped. It's really awesome. Number 79, Time Lord. Unfortunately, he is injured for this Nets series, but we are talking about Robert Williams. He made a leap as well. We always knew he had some potential. He had some potential to be a Clint Capela for us. That's kind of what I look at him as. Robert Williams is like a Clint Capela. But yeah. The lobs, the blocks. I think he has the most dunks in the league, actually. Lob dunks. Number 78 of the Nuggets team, another member of that Nuggets team. We are talking about Aaron Gordon. I really like Aaron Gordon. He got a little butthurt over the dunk contest. Other than that, he's putting up 20-point games for a really good Nuggets team, surprisingly. Yeah. 77, another member of that Dallas Mavericks team. We're here to talk about Spencer Dinwiddie, who moved from the Wizards to the Mavs and has ever since made some impact. He's made some buzzer beaters. He's had some 20-point games. He's out here playing pretty well. And he's going to be a key for the playoff success. He's really good off the bench. Number 76, the ever so inconsistent, I say this on my channel, of the Toronto Raptors. I'm talking about Gary Trent Jr. of Duke. So I like the guy. Obviously, I like watching Duke basketball, and I've liked Gary Trent since he's been at Duke. He's a really good shooter. He's had a couple good games this year. He's a pretty good defender, if I recall, too. 75 of the Kings, we have Harrison Barnes. Wow. The start of this season, I thought Harrison Barnes might be an all-star. He obviously had a fall off. He had a great start to the season, but nonetheless, he is still a top 75 player in the league. Talking about Franz Wagner, the Wagner brother that is just getting in the league out of Michigan for the Orlando Magic. The rookie, he is playing some good-ass basketball. Let me tell you guys, Franz Wagner is nice. That's all I'm going to say. He can dunk on people. He can shoot. It's just really fun watching him play. Number 73 of the Pacers, formerly of the Kings this season. Big trade there. But we have Buddy Hield. I think one of the most consistent three-point shooters in the league. Like, to be honest, like, percentage-wise, he can get him to fall. Like, he's just that dude. That's all I'm going to talk about. 'Cause that's all he is, really. 72, floater god of the Jazz. He's been a part of this Jazz team here for a couple of years, and he's been a part of some pretty disappointing playoff runs, but let me tell you, Mike Conley is still that guy. He can still play at a really high level. A slightly better version of him is Sixth Man of the Year contender. At 71 here, we got Jordan Clarkson. He can get buckets off the bench. What else can I say? Mike Conley can float and pass, whatever. Number 70, the thick boy. The thick boy, I guess. The NBA meme world refers to him as the thick boy. It's kind of interesting. Kyle Lowry. He's a pretty big part of the best team in the East. So I definitely think he deserves this spot. Just move on. He's a three-point shooter. He's been in this league for a while. Yeah, this is his first season with the Heat, and he's already making waves as a top 70 player in the league. At 69, another member of this Magic team. I really like the guy, Cole Anthony. His highlight of the year was the dunk contest, dunking in Thames, but he still has had some 20-point games. He can pass the rock fairly well. That's all I'm going to say about him. 68 is of the Wizards and formerly a part of that Mavericks team. I'm kind of disappointed that him and Luka didn't work out, but we're talking about Porzingis. Kristaps Porzingis is here on this list here at 68. And yeah, he's had a couple of disappointing finishes to games this year, but I think he is still a top 70 player quite easily. 67, we have another member of that young Houston Rockets team. We're talking about Kevin Porter Jr. Really like the guy. He can go out and get 30. He's got a great career ahead of him. Moving on to number 66, kind of surprised he's this low. You guys might be surprised too, but D'Angelo Russell of the Timberwolves is 66. I just don't think he had a very impressive season. Still better than a decent amount of players on the list. Obviously, he's better than 34 people before him, but 65. I like this guy. He's a former Celtics. He is on the Hornets, and they just got eliminated from the playoffs, which is tough. It's disappointing. LaMelo's upset. Whatever. We got Scary Terry. Terry Rozier, still a top 65 player in the league. He had quite the season. Yeah, Not much else to say. He's a big part of that big three, that Lob City. Moving on to number 64, though, of the New York Knicks, we have R.J. Barrett. Pretty solid player, if I do say so myself. He's had some consistent stretches throughout the year. He's also had some inconsistent stretches throughout the year, which is probably why he's not as high as you guys would want him to. Number 63, another member of that big three for San Antonio. They are eliminated as well. Unfortunately, I really wanted to see them make the playoffs, damn it. But we have Keldan Johnson. Great season. The Vince Staples lookalike has gained some momentum through his participation in our national team's basketball. So it's really cool to see him come out and have a pretty good, honestly, a breakout year for Keldan Johnson here. 62. One of the most impactful bench point guards in the league. I'm talking about Jalen Brunson here of the Dallas Mavericks, because I really think he is just so impactful. He plays such good basketball. He comes out, he can find his spots on the floor, he can pass. He does so much for this team, and it goes unappreciated. I think Jalen Brunson is a hell of a player. Yeah, that's all I got to really say, but he's such a good sidekick to Luka. Moving on to number 61 of the Orlando Magic, a very underrated player in this league. I'm talking about Mo Bamba. He had the song with Shaq West, and now he's out here getting buckets. Once again, his name is for the real basketball fans, his name is back in the mainstream here a little bit, because I think he's a really good player. Him and Wendell Carter, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit, play very well together at the big positions, although they're pretty small big men, which is an oxymoron in itself. They get it done. Number 60, a guy in the playoffs. One of the most monstrous centers in this league. He is a dog. It's Andre Drummond of a super team in the league, the Nets. So if you have a super team with some of the best scorers in the league and then one of the best rebounders in the last 10 years of the league, it's going to get scary. Andre Drummond. He's just a dog. He dunks everything. He's just a fucking animal. So yeah. 59. I'm kind of disappointed this guy is this low, but Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Memphis Grizzlies. I really thought he was going to end up in possibly my top 40, but I don't know. Jaren Jackson just kind of declined for me over the last few games. He's still a good player, but yeah. 58. This guy had a breakout year for the Pistons, and I tried to tell people this guy is going to be a star. Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey is that dude. He is really, really good. He's really good at what he does. Saddiq Bey. He came out and put up 51 night. And now everybody in Detroit knows his name. It's really great. 57. So obviously PG's not going to be on this list for the LA Clippers. So, the best player for the LA Clippers is Reggie Jackson, and he is a top 60 player in the league. So again, they are fighting. They are again fighting for a playoff spot. Just like some of the other teams I've already named before. Some teams in the playoffs. There, Reggie Jackson. He's a dog, man. He owned the whole Lakers franchise at one point in that game that they played this season, where he had 34. That was when the Lakers really were starting to question if they are going to make the playoffs or not, which obviously they didn't, looking in the future. Number 56, one of the best three-point shooters in the league, and without Ja Morant for 20 games, he was their best player. We're talking about Desmond Bane. I really like Desmond Bane. He's got potential to be like a Seth Curry, honestly. Not Steph, a Seth Curry. I don't know, though. How high do I have Seth Curry? Wait a second. I don't have Seth Curry on the list. He might have got injured or something. Whatever. Boo-hoo. Moving on to number 55, that big man I was talking about, to compliment Mo Bamba, a top 55 player in the league, no doubt. Wendell Carter, a dog out of Duke. Again, another player I gotta like because he comes from Duke. Of course, he's a dog. So yeah, Wendell Carter, man. He's a machine. I will say that. But let's just move on from there. 54. Ever since leaving the Lakers, obviously the Wizards and the Lakers ended up the same spot. So at first people were like, oh my god, the Wizards are going to make the playoffs and the Lakers aren't. But Kyle Kuzma got curved by the Lakers last year, and now he is playing really, really good, up to the speed of a lot of good NBA players. We are getting into elite company. This is where the tide turns. This is where we're getting into some good basketball players here, because up next, at 53, one of the MVPs of last night's games, Brandon Ingram of this Pelicans team. He is such a big part of that big three. Wow, he might be the worst player in that big three, but still, he is so good. I love Brandon Ingram. He's a great mid-range shooter. He is just cold with it, man. 52. Obviously, Anthony Davis can't be higher than this. He was hurt too much, but when he played, he played like a top 55 player in the league. It's enough. It's enough already with what he did. Coming in at number 51, Jordan Poole, the former six-man, but honestly, I think they should rethink their rotation. The guy out of Michigan, having a breakout season, and possibly a Most Improved Award winner, if I do say so myself. He's up there with Miles Bridges, which we will actually talk about here pretty soon. How far is Miles Bridges? Damn, okay, not bad. All right, Jordan Poole, 20-point games after 20-point games after 20-point games at one point. He was the bank. Like, he was the personification of the bank. The man was getting money out there. So, Jordan Poole. At number 50, he is one of my favorite players in the league. I really like Tyrese Halliburton of the Pacers, the blockbuster trade of the Kings, and now he's a top 50 player in the league. Tyrese Halliburton, another guy out of Iowa State. I gotta respect the dude. He plays some good basketball. He can pass the ball around. He's just so humble. He's got a good career ahead of him. Next, I'm gonna rank a bunch of rookies. Starting at number 49, Scotty Barnes. Guys, it's kind of controversial having Kade Cunningham against up above Scotty Barnes. I get it. It's the scoring. I don't know. Like, Kade Cunningham's such a good scorer, but Scotty Barnes, big part of the Raptors team, big part of why they're in the playoffs, so maybe I should put him above Kade and even Evan Mobley. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet, but Scotty Barnes is right there. I'm not moving. He's a young Kawhi, man. He's a Kawhi in the making. Looking at 48 again, Kade Cunningham, scoring threat. That's really all I'm going to say about him. He's on a bad team, he's on the Pistons, but he's a scoring threat. So what else are you going to say to him? 47, man, oh man, this guy, his career trajectory is only going up from here. I am talking about Tyrese Maxey here at 47. Tyrese Maxey is a hell of a player, dude. I really, really enjoyed watching him this season. 45, although people don't want to admit it, Russell Westbrook has still held his own as a top 45 NBA player in my opinion. Although he's not an all-star or anything, I still think he's a damn good basketball player. He can put up good stats. Maybe the time wasn't right. Maybe the timing wasn't right. Maybe the coaching wasn't right. You can attribute a lot of stuff to why Russell Westbrook isn't an all-star player, because that's what everyone thought. We would have 360, all three of them make it to the all-star game. 44, Cash Chris Middleton. We have back-to-back Bucks players here coming up. But Cash, Chris, Middleton coming in at number 44. One of the most clutch NBA players. Dang, dude, I might have to make a part 2. I am freaking exhausted. Mid-range shot for Chris Middleton, man. He's elite. 43, Drew Holiday. KD literally said that Drew Holiday is one of the most difficult players to score on in the league, and the dude is 7 foot. He's got a big body. He's going to make you earn every single bucket. He's going to pass the ball on offense as well. And he can score. So Drew Holiday is like a complete package for a small point guard. He's just a menace, dude, on defense. Coming up here at 42, Tobias Harris might be a little high, but I still think he deserves it. I think Tobias Harris is a great basketball player of that Sixers team. Most of the players we're talking about from now on have a playoff run ahead of them, so that is great. But yeah. Tobias Harris. 41, Clint Capela. They're actually playing in play-in tonight. He's another guy playing in the play-in tonight to see who gets an 8th seed against the Heat. And honestly, whoever wins that game, they might just win the series. You never know against the Heat. Clint Capela, man. What else do I have to say? He doesn't need any introduction. He is a workhorse. He's been like that since he was on the Rockets. Let's move on. Number 40, center on the best team in the NBA. I'm not going to say it again. Deandre Ayton. Although he's not a superstar, he's not one to just completely take over basketball games. He is still worth putting up here. 39, Nicole Yokic. He's just a better scorer version of DeAndre Ayton. And although he probably doesn't move as good as DeAndre Ayton, I still think that Nicole Yokic, through some of the struggles he's had this season with a couple games, he's still better. 38. He's an all-star in a lot of people's eyes. He's not an all-star in mine. He's on a Golden State Warriors team, which, by the way, Klay Thompson obviously can't be on this list. There is a reason. I don't think Draymond was either. No, there's no way. But, wow, I really put Jalen Brown high up there, didn't I? Not really, actually. I think that's fair. I'm just looking at my future list. But Andrew Wiggins, he is an all-star in the NBA's eyes, not quite in mine. There are just better basketball players out there, and I will get to those. 37 on this Cavs team. Unfortunately, he is hurt, and I don't think he will be able to play tonight. They definitely need him. It's a win-or-go-home situation. And if they win tonight, they might even be able to rest him for a couple games in the next series. But Jared Allen, man, one of the best rim protectors in the league. He has made a name for himself for being a for dressing way too casual for everyone's liking, for just blocking the shit out of everybody, for his afro. Everything is iconic about him. 36, CJ McCollum. The second-in-command guy for the Pelicans. Although he is the best scorer on the team, I don't think he is the best player on the Pelicans. But CJ McCollum is still that guy. He can pull it from mid-range. He's still got that play style from the Trailblazers. 35, people are looking at him after his playing game as the second coming of Michael Jordan. We're talking about the Timberwolves' very own Anthony Edwards. He is a little low, I understand that, but these players above him, I'm somewhat confident that they are better than Anthony Edwards, and they had a better season. 34, of a struggling Rockets team, I think Christian Wood is honestly better than Anthony Edwards. I think very high of Christian Wood. I think Christian Wood had a fantastic season. What else is there to say? He can score big. Number 33, probably the clear winner for Sixth Man of the Year. He is in the top third of the NBA, guys. Tyler Hero. I don't want to hear it. Tyler Hero, he's fantastic. He is the best sixth man. He's one of the best sixth men we've seen in some time. He should be a starter. But it's just the strategy. Maybe it's cheating. Maybe it's a Ben Simmons version of the Sixth Man of the Year. But the world will never know. Moving on to number 32, one of my favorite players in the NBA, Bridges! Diddly D! Miles Bridges makes his way here at 32, definitely a most improved candidate. He made big jumps. He averaged like 8 more points this year than he did last year, and it's incredible. While shooting only 1% worse. And you guys got to think, the buckets that Miles Bridges shoots, and although, again, the Hornets are eliminated, he had a great season, man. I really like Miles Bridges. I'm excited to see what he does next season. 31. The menace on defense. Menace on defense for the Heat. We are talking about Jimmy Butler here. Jimmy Buckets. The best team in the East. Not much to say there. 30. Fred VanVleet, man. I'm really proud of how this guy's career is shaped out. Not a lot of people looked at him highly through the draft stocks and stuff, but Fred VanVleet has slowly risen up and become a superstar in this league, being a top 30 player, quite obviously, and a potential all-star in my eyes. Like, if the All-Star game was now, he is a potential All-Star. Another potential All-Star at 29 of the Kings. The ever-struggling Kings. Do they ever have a good season? Ever. Darren Fox. And crazy enough, they made a trade that made De'Aaron Fox no longer the best player on the Kings. But we will shortly talk about the best player on the Kings. 28. Another underrated guy. Why is no one talking about this guy? He gets 35-point triple-doubles out the wazoo. And he gets 40-point games out the wazoo. Pascal Siakam, Spicy P, Mr. Spin Move. My God, he is special. Hold on, let me go get my phone real quick. I'll be back. Oh crap, there's cords all over the place. What is going on? At number 27 of the Miami Heat, they're ever-skilled, undersized big man, the block on Tatum, Bam Adebayo. Love Bam Adebayo, love how he plays. He's a very respectable player, he's a very hard worker. 26, the best player on the New York Knicks. We are here to talk about Julius Randle and give him his flowers because he had a great season. Hold on. I got to answer a call real quick. I will hang up shortly after, though. There's just someone calling me back about something, but we're back. Julius Randle, the former most improved player, and he keeps improving and improving and improving. He's a borderline top 25 player. Coming in at number 25, the guy that was a part of this Kings trade, and the Kings won this trade, quite frankly, because they got a top 25 player in the league, Sabonis, versus a top 50 and possibly like a top 60. They won the trade. They might have a good season next year. They're just going to need that momentum from the Sabonis trade. At 24, obviously this guy doesn't get enough respect because he is on one of the worst basketball teams. Wow, this team sucks. It's a G League team. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he is absolutely fantastic. I really like how he played this season. Continue on next season. You'll put up 30 bombs and lose by 20. That's just how it goes when you're in OKC now. That's how people look at him now. At 23, the best player on that New Orleans Pelicans team, we're talking about Jonas Valenciunas. Great big man. He's so skilled. He can do a lot of stuff. He can score, grab rebounds. He's just a big dude. Those foreign guys are different. We got more of those guys. Do not worry. Moving on to number 22, kind of the second in command for the Chicago Bulls. We're talking about Zach LaVine here. There are a lot of guards going down the stretch. I'm like, who's better than who? I kind of had debates with my friends. I kind of had to, well, not debates with my friends. I had to text my friends to see what they thought. Zach LaVine. I'm not going to say much else about him. He is a former slam dunk champion. 21, through injuries. I might be a little biased, but the second in command for the Boston Celtics, we're talking about Jalen Brown here. Dude, he's good. He is one of the most skillful shooters I've seen in this league. He can shoot the ball like no other. He has a very ramrod play style, which I'm not a big fan of at times, but holy crap, Jalen Brown is good, guys. He can play good basketball on any given night. Yeah, Jalen Brown. At number 20, another second-in-command guy. This time we're talking about the Jazz. We'll talk about his counterpart here in a couple of spots. We have Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is definitely a top 20 player in the NBA. He puts up 35 like it's nothing. He can just lead this team to victory, and he's why they're as far. 19, we got the star player on the Cavs. Another one of my favorite players in the league, Darius Garland, DG the PG as I call him. Maybe a little high, maybe, but not really. The dude gets 20. He can get 25 and 15 if you want him to. Like he's skilled on the passing. He can hit some moves. He can hit some shots. He can do all that stuff. And he is why the Cavs are still in it and fighting for the 8th seed now. You know, they had that cushion as being the 8th seed and being able to play 2 play-in games. Double elimination. At 18, we have the best player. We have the best player on the Jazz. I don't care what you guys say. You guys can say Donovan Mitchell all you want. Rudy Gobert is he has such a presence when he's on the court on defense. He is one of the best. He's another one of those really good defensive players. He's one of the best defensive players of the last decade. Like, he is just a machine. He gets rebounds. I think he's the best rebounder in the league, if I recall. 17. He's a veteran. He's CP3. He's one of the most legendary point guards of the 21st century. We are talking about Chris Paul here. He is second in command. He is not the best player on this Phoenix Suns team. This team is so good. They have a top 20 guy and they have a top 15 guy. We'll get to the top 15 guy here in a little bit. You guys should know. He took off in the second half. And with Chris Paul being injured, obviously, he used to be borderline top 10, but with the injury, it definitely pushed him back a little bit. Moving on to 16, the best player on the Hornets, LaMelo Ball. Sorry. LaMelo Ball. I'm proud of this guy, you know. For the age he's at, for the year he is at in the NBA, it's one of the best seasons we have ever seen. He is a borderline top 15. Yes, you guys see who's above him. I'm not even going to debate that. That guy's better than LaMelo, but I got to give LaMelo his flowers. He's still top 20. At number 15, the best player on the Spurs, and what a year this guy's had. He is starting. He has gained a fan in me this year, man. I really like DeJounte Murray. I like the size he has at that point guard position. I like the way he plays. He just plays for the team. He is a perfect guy for Greg Popovich's team. Lengthy on defense, dishes the rock and grab rebounds. He can do it all. Number 14. Oh my God, why isn't LeBron top 10? Because he missed like 16 games, okay? Maybe if he didn't miss 16 games, he'd be top 10. But the guys above him had better seasons. They had better teams. And that you can't put that against the GOAT. The GOAT is Michael Jordan. The king is LeBron. I'm not gonna say it again. But I don't know. LeBron. Not much else to say. He doesn't need any introduction. He's one of the most clutch players in the NBA. All that stuff. You guys know it. Whatever. Moving on to number 13 of the Sixers. He was a big part of that blockbuster trade. He's not even the best player on this Sixers here, but the Nets traded him over. In turn, the Sixers won this trade by a long shot because the Nets had to play an extra game just to make it to the playoffs, and they still have to play against the Celtics first round, where the Sixers have to play the Raptors in the first round. The Nets are on a terrible side of the bracket because they're most likely going to have to play the Bucks, while the Sixers are going to have to play the Hawks or the Heat to make it to the conference finals. So I don't know. Harden, great player. He can get a triple-double. He gets hate by the Philly fans, but who doesn't? Even Embiid himself gets hate from Philly fans. At number 12, we have the man, the man of the hour in Chicago. Although it's a team that can't beat good teams, we're talking about Demar Derozan, who made a case for MVP like a couple months ago, but obviously now he's not in that conversation. We know who's in the MVP conversation. Oh crap, I don't want you guys seeing that. But you guys can see the next guy. DeMar DeRozan, he's super clutch. He gets buzzer beaters. He hits all sorts of mid-range shots that are difficult to make. What else is there to say about the dude? Moving on to number 11, the best guy on the Phoenix Suns. We are talking about D-Book, Devin Booker. Great player for the Phoenix Suns. Puts up 40 like it's freaking nothing, Devin Booker. Number 10, we're getting into the top 10. Maybe some consideration for MVP, like when I rank my top 25 players of the week. This is where we're getting into like MVP level guys. Coming in at number 10 of the Warriors, I kind of debated putting Devin Booker over him, but he is the best player on the Warriors, and he is the reason they are this high. It is Steph Curry. Give a round of applause for Steph Curry, because although he was an MVP candidate, injuries, rest, kind of sideline him for that. Moving on to number 9, we got a lot of young cats moving on, so that's nice. Number 9, the best player on the Timberwolves. They're still in it. They are fighting, or they are in the playoffs. They're at the 7th seed, so they get a day of rest, I think. Cat, the guy that put up 60 this year, or season. Did he put up 60? Was that him? Yeah, 60. Carl frickin' Anthony Towns. Cat, man, he's a legend. Love the guy. He's going to have such a good career. Number 8. You could argue this guy's most improved, because ever since that play-in last year, Ja Morant has been skyrocketing for this Grizzlies team. He is so good, man. Ja Morant. What else can I say? Up next, my favorite player in the league at number 7, and the best player on the Boston Celtics, Jason Tatum. The skill at which he can just sidestep, booyah, hit the 3 with ease is insane. He's strong. He's been hitting the weights, man. Jason Tatum, man. Shout out to Jason Tatum for lifting us up to the 2nd seed. We still have to play the fucking Nets. Thank you, Milwaukee. Literally hate you. If I see someone with a Milwaukee jersey in person, I might flip them off, dude. Really screw you guys. Number 6. No introduction needed. This guy led the league in points, total, and total assists. It's the averages that matter. Well, Trey Young played the whole season, so you give him credit. He is the best player on this Hawks team. Number 6, Trey Young. I'm not saying it again. He is the 2nd best point guard in the league. He's top 3. He's a top 3 point guard in the league, whether you want to say Curry, Luka, and Trey. Those are the 3. Ja, Trey, Luka. Sorry. I don't think Curry's 8. He's a top 5. But freaking Trey Young, man. He's a beast. He is the Grim Reaper. I really liked Oprah Siverson calling him that. That was awesome. He ends a lot of teams, man. He's just he might collect another body tonight against the Cavs, which that's going to be a great game. Number 5, we're moving into the top 5, baby. Luka freaking Magic of the Mavericks. He has been the face of the franchise ever since he has stepped foot in this league, and wow. The step back, dude. The difficult shots, the carrying the team on his back, playing with such pride. He had 16 technicals this year, which is kind of insane for a point guard, but with that size, I guess why not? Let's just keep moving on. 4, KD. Best player on the Nets, the Grim Reaper. He is the Slim Reaper. He ends teams. Stop Pop Baldy shot. Shout out to Oprah for that one. Oprah Siverson, that was great. KD. I think he's the best scorer in the league. Like, he's just got so much skills. Here we go. We're moving into the MVP standings. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to start us off with the candidacy at 3. We're going to make this a 40-minute video. So we'll just talk about these last 2 guys here for a little bit. Giannis Antetokounmpo, unstoppable force. You're either going to get bucked on or you're going to get a foul. You're going to foul him. So, yeah, you're going to pick up a foul or he's going to pick up a body. I don't know. Joel Embiid is next. Guys, I'm very tired. Oh, my gosh. Joel Embiid, one of the best scoring centers I've seen in so long. He's so big for his size, he can really get it going. He's another one of those guys. You're either going to get a bucket on your head or you're going to have to pick up a foul, man. You choose. But moving on to number 1. He is the best MVP since Russell Westbrook. He is the best NBA MVP since Russell Westbrook. It's Nicole Yokic of the Nuggets. No introduction needed. 1,500 stat line for this season. That is freaking impeccable, incredible. My goodness. Jokic. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you guys like my list. I was just kind of zooming through because I don't need to talk about these guys. I've talked about them 50 damn times this season. I am done though. Yeah. I'm about to go hoop at the YMCA. Mission complete. We got our videos done. All right. Let's get it going. See